Hi folks, a short video and an update to one of my earlier prototypes. As you can see, I've fitted the manipulators from previously. This one is this sting hook itself is a sterling silver piece, I should say, and that's a conventional sting hook with a 0.2mm hole in the end, and it's just simply pushed in between a slot there and a nice press fit so you can pull it out quickly. Ventral hook is the same. It's a sterling silver piece, this time round, and drilled into the end of the tube there, and a nice tap fit again. So that's as it was before. This unit I made to try and use with tweezers, but I found tweezers just too fiddly. This one is I think this is about the third one I made. The feed is done manually, the nice tight fitting and slide tube within tube there. But this one moves left to right and backwards and forwards by the aid of these inched levers. And believe it or not, this little unit has turned out to be the best one of all. It's got 2-inch levers, one at the top here and one at the bottom here. And if I zoom in on the needle and just show you how fine it can be manipulated. That's the Infeed, doing by hand, which is very accurate, and once you let go it stops, it stays tight, it doesn't move. So they can move up and down with this inched lever here. I'll zoom out slightly so you can see better. You turn that one for the vertical movement, and the other one for the lateral movement. You can't really see that well because the needle's clear, but the movements on it are so fine. And try and get if I actually move that out of the way, you'll be able to see a bit better if I put my hand behind. There we go. So I've got the end of the needles, it's got a black marker on it, as you can see there. I'll try and zoom in on that needle and move the unit further down, make it clearer. This one works very well actually. I'm quietly surprised, even with the fancy one with all electric motors and things on. This one knocks the socks off it really. As you can see there, the movements of the needle are so precise. That's lateral movement and that's vertical movement. And such a user friendly actually, it works very well. So this will be, if I was going to make any more, this would be the one I'd base it on. Move the whole head rather than moving the needle itself, which makes more sense, and then just have a manual feed up and down with the tube there. You can see, if I take the actual tube out and show you, that's what it consists of, just a tube within a tube, and then at the top, rather than using a rubber O-ring, I've used some neoprene rubber there to keep it really firm so that the needle can't move, and I've retained the needle within a needle. That's just a nice semi-interference fit there, and that's the best way I've found. And on the unit itself you've got another tube inside that tube, and at the bottom I've got a nylon, you can see there, nylon bush just here, and that keeps that thing perfectly solid. It just won't move at all. If everything's centralised and kept as accurate as possible, it works so well. So that one just fits inside there, inside that tube. Now the glass the outer glass needle is a really precision fit in the inside tube here, because I've rounded the end over there slightly, so that needle just absolutely no play whatsoever, but it will move in and out, you know, comfortably. And if you get a needle that's slightly not straight at the end, slightly disformed on the end, you can actually turn this and line it up that way as well. So you've got 6 ways really of manipulating things to get it to work, and that works really well. So that's basically it. That's the unit itself complete. If I actually tilt it that way, you might be able to see the needle moving. There we go. Hard to keep it still. Got a lot of control over that, a lot. You see the whole unit moving itself rather than the needle itself, and then from the side you can see the vertical movement. That's a better picture. And literally it's not even 1/4 of a turn for 1/2 millimetre, it's probably 1/10 of a turn of the knob to move it 1/2 millimetre. And I've retained the tube within the tube, so if you did get a beginner that was a little bit heavy-handed, if you want to say, and they actually touch too much pressure on the queen itself, I'll put my nail underneath it there. If I put too much pressure, the needle will, you see how the needle floats inside there? It just and so floats. So it can give rather than being forced. Once it's in a central position, sometimes I've been practicing on a target, and sometimes when you're not exactly right on the hot spot, the needle will move over and just drop in. It's hard to explain it until you actually use it physically. So with the needle, with that needle, if I actually touch it there, being able to float slightly, if that makes sense. It's sometimes, if it's not quite in the right place, it just drops in the right place, and then you can see the needle move, you know, to where it should be. It's it turned out that way. So that's the unit there, which I'll be using probably all the time. It's only a tiny thing; it almost fit in your pocket. If you took the levers out and the needle out, it wouldn't fit into an outdoor coat pocket. And these ball bearings work so well. These ones are the slightly smaller 3/16 ones, and rather than go to the trouble of threading everything on and put it onto base, I've just used another piece of K&S tube, which turns out to be it's 5/16 inner, and these ball joints actually turned out to be almost the same size and nearly an interference fit, but just a little drop of super glue holds them in place. Now, a lot of people have asked me whether these ball joints are stiff enough. Sometimes you get the odd one that isn't, so to tighten up that there to a usable friction, just simply tap that on the top there. Do it on a solid surface and just tap tap tap, and then what it does, it nips the nylon bush inside. Or if you wanted to go one step further, at the top there you can see where it's been machined. You can actually remove all the apparatus, turn the ball so it's sideways, so the hole in the middle is facing upwards, and drill a hole down through then and tap it, and you've got plenty of room to go back. You've got a good 3/8 of an inch. But like you say, the ball needs to be turned. I can explain it a better way. Take all this mechanism out and turn the ball so as it's upwards like that. Then you can drill down through the top without actually marring the actual nice surface on the ball. So that's another way for putting a nip screw on the top. Or you could do it at the side or at the front. It doesn't matter where you do it, because it's a 360, whichever way you do it. so that you could put a little nip screw on to alter, but I find that'll take a long time to wear, and when it does you could go through to that, take the extra effort and put a little nylon nip screw in there, but still possibilities, scope for doing different things. But these work so well with these two rubber O-rings either side, which nip down through the slots. I think I've showed you that before, but I'll show you again. If I take that tube out of there, you've got two cutaways, so when you put the rubber O-ring over the top, that nips down into the tube. You've got two of those, one there and one there, so when you push the tube inside, the O-rings are penetrating through into the inner bore and actually hold that really tight. You can see it will not move. It's foolproof system. It's quite tight. You have to pull it, and there's enough pressure there to hold it. It won't move back the other way. It's just something I come just off by chance. So with that out there, you can see the how I mentioned earlier. Just turn that ball so it's facing upwards. Then you can drill down through and through the middle of there without marring the smooth surface. So I'll put all that back together, and that's it. It's a usable, viable II device. Cheap and cheerful, but works very well. I don't think there's anything else to add. The actual queen holder, you can actually move that, undo the screw here, and you can manipulate that, and you can bend that roughly to where you want it to get to a usable position. Then you never need to move it after that. So there it is. It's conventional arms on and a hand feed for the injection. So thank you again for watching. Bye for now.